Okay, I'm going to start this off because I've been playing this one quite extensively. I'm just going to wait until it comes up, but I think it is actually a really tricky deck to play. Night March generally is not an easy. Oh, I'm going to pick this deck up and I'm just going to run with it. And the thing that I like about Ross's deck the most is that it has a potential win condition against anything that you're facing, and it can pull off the wins right towards the end. Whereas your standard Night March is right. I'm going to beat them down. I'm going to battle Compressor everything away, and I'm just going to pull down right down to less than 10 cards, and I'm just going to completely overwhelm my opponent. And if they can rip off the DCE, I'm just going to replace it with Metal Energy if I've got Bronze on and everything like that. But this one is really, it does have to sacrifice a couple of things. Like, say for example, it only plays 3 Trainers Mail instead of 4 Trainers Mail. But up its sleeve are quite a few tricks that you can pull off.
Just looking at the list in general. Going from the start.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
I was going to say, how do you find 2 Shaymin? Because I know a lot of Night Marches play 3, some even play 4.
Absolutely no problem whatsoever.
No problem?
No problem whatsoever.
And I suppose leading on from that, I think it's interesting how this still plays in the Avatar.
Yeah, it is. It's and the great thing about it is that if you are playing against, let's say for example, Giratina Toad, that combined with the Xerosic means that you could potentially, as soon as that Giratina comes up active, you've got your Xerosic, and then you play your so you hold on to that Enhanced Hammer, you draw into it, you just wait, you don't even bother with your Xerosic on the active Toad. All you do is just attack with either Mew or Shaymin. If you've got both Shaymin online, it's even better because although it's got 10 less HP, Shaymin Sky Returning cannot be cancelled out by Hex Maniac. Whereas if Mew was actually doing versatile and then Shaymin, you can actually be trapped in that if your opponent plays Hex Maniac. But what you do is you just take that hit for 50. Maybe if they're playing Hypnotoxic, it is a little bit problematic. But you just wait your turn. Make sure that you got your teammates online as well. And then if the Giratina's coming up, then you just rip them. And all you need is two energy rips, and that's it. Game usually turns around at that stage.
And this list seems a lot more conservative compared to these kind of speed Night March decks you see recently with lots of Acrobyte and the what's one where you flip roller skates.
Yeah. Well, obviously in standard. Yeah. Obviously in standard, you're looking to win the game in 4-5 turns, I think it is. And usually you play quite a heavy Hex Maniac line to just deny Shaymin draws, things like that.
This is true.
But obviously with Ross's build, you're seeing a lot more tech in comparison to what you normally see in standard.
Yeah, there's I mean, like, you've got extra space there. You've got Town Map, and immediately as soon as you play Town Map, your Hex and your Lysander can just fall down, because you're gonna get one prize within the first four turns or so. So you know you're gonna be able to access either a Hex or a Lysander. I still personally think that Hex is a little bit on the wane anyway. I think one Hex in the deck is just right. But people play 2 just in case they come across that situation. They want to overcome, for example, and they just slash with 100% certainty. But Town Map in here as well is absolutely fine. But you're right.
I think Town Map basically turns all your 1-ofs into 2-ofs.
Yeah.
The way I see it, because as soon as you play down that Town Map, you get to see everything that's in your prizes. So you can have, say, your computer search prize, your Hex prize, your End prize, and then some of your multiple ofs. Yeah, and obviously your 3 Lampent because they love to be prized. But then your 1-ofs, you get to see them instantly. You're like, oh right, so they're there. I just have to knock something out and then add them 10. But again, we don't have the luxury of no hand shuffle like we do in standard. I mean, we have Judge and Ace Train, but they're not widely played. So you can't just sit and think, oh, I've got the luxury of being able to keep this in my hand, just wait. Because in standard, you've got N. arguably the most powerful hand shuffle card to date.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, one of the points I was going to make, asking you, Freddie, is how does this cope with the new wave of evolvable decks coming out of the woodworks?
That's a good question, because you've got obviously Pumpkaboo, you've got the weakness on there, you've got Joltik on the bench. That's always going to be susceptible, and if you just wait around too much, you know, let's put it this way. You know, the evolvable decks, they don't have to invest too much in order to knock out everything that you've got in play. However, I think what's key in that situation, the two things, the Mew-EX and the Joltik. So you don't, you know, you try not to attack with the Pumpkaboos at all. The reason being that you've also got to invest in the Dimension Valley being in play as well.
Yeah.
That can be quite tricky if you're up against, if you're trying to put a DCE on an active Pumpkaboo and you're trying to secure your Dimension Valley, all your energy is going into that. Whereas if you've got your Mew and you've got a Joltik online, all you need is a single double colourless, or you just run your Lightning. It's much easier to win the first couple of exchanges, and then once the dust settles after 4 prizes, then you look and see what's left in the game. If they've got something like a Shaymin because they've had to race ahead, then it's an easy bystander game.
Okay. So looking at both of these decks, we've looked at the Seismitoad Bats and this Night March. Would you guys be comfortable using any of these in the expanded tournament we've got coming up? So, or do you think they need tweaks, or are they not right for our current conditions? Or?
I think I'd be more shaky, if I'm being honest. I'd be more shaky with Seismitoad because you've got Vespiquen, you've got Jirachi around. What's quite interesting as well is to see whether Jirachi would work in Night March as well, because with the Dimension Valley, Versatile can copy Jirachi's attack for nothing.
Yeah.
That would be quite cheeky, and it would have an immunity as well. That combined with Xerosic could potentially really swing things with the Toadtina if that's around. Haven't talked about Toad Garvador at all, because that can cause real issues with Night Match. But Toad is probably the one, because Vespiquen is just so strong and quick off the bat. So Toad would have to do something against that.
What do you think, Colin?
I'd definitely be a lot more comfortable playing Toad in comparison to Night March.
Oh, really?
Yeah, speed decks aren't really my forte, as I found out playing over the last year. I prefer more techie control deck, like what Toad Bats is. I don't think Vespiquen's an auto loss by any means. You can definitely swing it in your favour.
Yeah.
With things like a well-timed N, Silent Lab, just the energy, not the energy lock, the Iron Lock is very big all around. Just due to how quick they're looking to play through the deck as well. And I think 9 times out of 10, they just don't play a stadium. So you hit the Silent Lab, they don't have access to their Ordinos, their Execute if they do play one. Someone playing Wobbuffet becomes redundant. Not that it really affects the deck anyway. Yeah, Vespiquen's only got 90 HP as well, so laser, backdrop, quaking punch sort of thing finishes them off. And although the deck play does play, I think 29 to 31 Pokemon on average as well. So if you play an N, they draw 4 or 5 cards. More than likely to be Pokemon if they don't get going turn 1. And obviously it's just one of those things. If you hit the heads or the tails on the coin flip, you get the win on the coin flip. You go first, you get set up. What are they going to do? They can't come back from that. So if in best of 3 you win your game 1, lose your game 2, you can definitely come back on the game 3. Is the way I see it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I don't think I'd feel comfortable using Night March at the moment because of a lot of the evolves are hanging around, especially in our UK meta game.
Yeah, the UK meta game is definitely full of Evoltor.
Yeah, so I think it's a bit risky. However, saying that, it does or should beat things like Blastoise with relative ease. So it would be more of a metaphor for you than anything else.
I guess technically, it depends on your build for Blastoise. I mean,
well, if you look at
obviously in the build that we've made with Plasma Kieran swings so many matchups into your favor.
Yeah.
If you're against Night March for 2 energy, I mean, in Blastoise that's no energy at all, the way you see it.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap that up there, lads. So.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.